how to create a healthy relationship after narcissistic abuse. That's what we're talking about in this video. Hey, I'm Dr. Melissa. I'm a trauma expert and top doctor. And in this video, we're talking about today, how do you create a healthy relationship after narcissistic abuse? Are you sure you even know what one looks like? Does it seem like it's even possible, or is it just a pipe dream? And we're talking specifically about three things today. First is how to take the narcissist target off your back so you stop attracting narcissists. Second, we're talking about the obstacles that you must remove before you can create a healthy relationship. And number three, the relationship that you must create first. So let's break these down. Number one, how to take the narcissist target off your back. If you have been in more than one narcissistic relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got narcissists coming at you left and right. You end up thinking someone is maybe going to be the one, the next partner, only to realize that they are lying, they are devaluing you. You end the relationship, lather, rinse, repeat. This goes on and on and on. It gets really old. And it gets so old that it gets to the point that you wonder, do I even want to bother? Do I even want to try? Maybe I should just, live alone and have 30 cats. I don't know. It's one of those things that makes you wonder if a healthy relationship is even possible. And I want to tell you, it is absolutely possible to take that narcissist target off of your back. There are a few things that you need to do. First, you need to break the trauma bond. And the trauma bond is not just being like hung up on your ex. So often people think that's what it is, that you're like still thinking about them, you're hung up on them. Maybe you need a new relationship as a distraction to move forward. That is the absolute worst possible thing to do. The trauma bond is actually a chemical reaction in your body that is created by things that the narcissist does, or in this case, did in the past. But that chemical reaction, that chemical relationship that you have with them still exists until you consciously choose to break it. Now, if you've had a relationship, a romantic relationship with a narcissist, chances are you had a narcissist in your family or in your life as a child as well. You would have a trauma bond with that person too. That trauma bond, that desire for the chemical feeling that you get from love bombing or intermittent reinforcement, is part of the driver that makes you do things you wouldn't otherwise do, leads to some of the people pleasing or accepting blame, even worse yet, blaming yourself for things another person does, needing outside validation and approval. And that trauma bond holds you stuck in that pattern. So breaking that trauma bond is huge in taking the target off of your back. If this resonates with you, if you get this, type, "I'm taking it off" in the comments. Take that target off of your back. And this leads us to number two, the obstacles that you absolutely must remove first. Those obstacles are the codependent behaviors and traits, the people pleasing, the relying on other people for validation and support, the accepting blame or blaming yourself for things that are not your fault. These things have no place in a healthy relationship, and I'll tell you why they're there. They are there because there is a part of you somewhere deep, deep inside, somewhere subconscious, you're not even consciously aware necessarily. This part of you that feels like you're invisible or you don't matter or you're a failure or you're crazy or you're way too much, that you're not lovable, you're not wanted. And this part of you wants to ease that pain. It causes you to act in a way to ease that suffering. The problem is, it doesn't ever work. The way that you behave only reinforces the pattern. Let me give you an example. Someone who has a deep-seated belief that they're a failure or a fear of being a failure will sabotage themselves. They'll show up late to work so they don't get the promotion. They'll turn their assignment in late so the best they can get is a C instead of an A. They'll stay up drinking all night long the night before a big athletic competition so they perform poorly. My guess is you know someone like this. Their fear of failure is so strong, they sabotage the things that are important to them, which then only reinforces the fact that they think they're a failure. And it doesn't only apply to people who have that belief. There's actually 21 of these. Maybe you feel like you're not seen and not heard. So you show up and you present yourself in a way that people are unable to see and hear you. I'm not saying you're invisible. You know what I'm talking about, right? That you're like, am I even in the room? Like, what is going on here? People are not hearing what I'm saying. They're not understanding. And it's because you're not seeing or hearing yourself. You're not tending to yourself and what you need that makes you show up in a way that others cannot see and hear who you really are. Or maybe you're constantly trying to shrink yourself down, to fit yourself into this tiny box so that you're not the person with a big head or who's too full of themselves. You don't want to be called the narcissist, right? And let me pause for a second just by saying, that's something that narcissists say to gaslight you into making yourself small. Okay, it's a giant pile of crap. Being brilliant and lit up and on fire and powerful and taking up space in this world, bringing your contribution to this world is something each and every one of us is called to do. It's not narcissistic, but I digress. If you are constantly trying to shrink yourself down into these small opportunities, maybe small business opportunities, small career opportunities, small connection opportunities, you're going to be surrounded by people who think you're too big, you're too much. You have a big head, you are too full of yourself, you have too many aspirations. Who are you to want to change the world? Which reinforces this false belief that you're too much. These obstacles absolutely have to be removed before you can create a healthy relationship, because otherwise you're creating from a place of neediness, of brokenness, of wanting the other person to fix you and make you whole. Even if that's not consciously what you're thinking, there's this subconscious driver that's looking for someone else to tell you that you are enough, or you are worthy, or you are lovable, or you do matter. And this leads us to number 3. The relationship that you must create first is a healthy relationship with yourself. By healing these false core beliefs, and I can tell you, without having met you, if any of those resonate for you, they are false beliefs. Yes, you may have created dozens or hundreds of examples of evidence to say that they're true, but they are false. Every human being is good enough. It's impossible to be too much. Everyone is lovable. Everyone is worthy. Everyone has worth. They matter. You matter. When you create a relationship with yourself where you know who you are, where you know these things to be true, you no longer need someone else to validate you, to accept you for who you are, because you accept yourself for who you are so solidly that sure, it's nice to have people in your life that validate you, but it is not required. It's not necessary. It's not something that you're subconsciously seeking anymore because it's no longer a need that you have. And when you reach that point where you are connecting with someone because you choose to be with them, because you choose to partner with them, as opposed to needing them to fill a subconscious need, everything changes. I know this to be true. And I'd like to give you my guide that helps you see where you're at on the healing journey. We're talking level 4 or step 4 and 5 kind of healing here. Click the link in the description and it'll be in your inbox today. I'm Dr. Melissa, and I will see you in the next video.